So I wanted to come in here and talk about this story right here involving Ice Cube and the recent move that he just pulled. Now, this story, by the time y'all see it, everyone has already heard about it by now. It's just that I was a little late with actually getting around to talking about it. But Ice Cube was supposed to be in this new movie, this new comedy movie with Jack Black, which is why I have Jack Black's picture next to him. And the name of the movie was called Oh Hell No. And the reason why Ice Cube dropped out of the movie is because they wanted him to take and he refused to take it. So he just dropped out of the movie. Mind you, they were going to pay him $9 million to be in this movie. Like, I'm going to echo something someone else said on Twitter. They said the real crime is that they were only going to pay him $9 million. And I said that is kind of low considering the caliber that Ice Cube has. They make it seem like this is his first movie. Ice Cube been doing movies since 1991, with Boys in the Hood being his first movie, and he's been doing several movies ever since, even movies that were produced and starring him, such as the Friday series. So he's been acting for quite some time. So he knows how to do action, he knows how to do comedy. So he knows how to do drama. So he's a very well-rounded actor. So the fact they was only going to give him $9 million, that's like, okay, that's only a drop in the bucket for him, which was probably why it was so easy for him to just leave, because $9 million is nothing to him. But what makes this a power move is because he left because the money wasn't a thing. Like, he didn't need the money. It's not like he was hurting. Otherwise, he probably would have did it. But the fact that this man has so many investments over the years, his music, his businesses, his brands, his movies, and all types of stuff have racked up millions of dollars over the years. $9 million is not hurting him. And that's why it was a big power move. Remember Dave Chappelle did the same thing with the Chappelle Show back in the early 2000s when they wanted him to come back for a second season, and they wanted him to do some things that he did not want to do, and he turned down $50 million. That was the first thing that came to mind for me, but I had to get corrected on Twitter when I posted a tweet about it by someone. They said Ice Cube's been doing this for years. It goes back to when his NWA days, when they wanted him to sign some contracts that he knew was not a good contract. If you saw the movie Straight Outta Compton, they basically showed what the effect of that was. Remember, he went up into the record company with the bats and started breaking stuff. So because they were fed a bad contract, which is why Ice Cube was one of the first members to leave NWA and go and do his own thing, because it was a bad deal. So Ice Cube is not new to this whole thing. But this is a different scale because it deals with COVID-19 and y'all can insert it there. So I had said I feel like Ice Cube is about to become the next target because, they've been going after Kyrie Irving for what feels like an eternity at this point. They stayed on Kyrie's neck. And then, Floyd Mayweather came out and he said what he said about supporting Kyrie Irving. And, they probably going to try to go after Floyd Mayweather. But now Ice Cube is the latest person. How long they're going to stay on top of Ice Cube, I'm not entirely sure. Now, remember, Ice Cube made waves last year when he was talking about the contract with Black America. And you had so many people, especially those who look like us, and unfortunately, those who look like the female version of us. And when I say us, I'm us as Black men. Come out and say how bad it was. What are they going to do specifically for Black women? Even though he was saying that this is for all Black people, especially those who are Black Americans, or that's how they identify or what they are. And they came at his neck and they said, I will meet with Joe Biden and everything. Like, Joe Biden would meet with them. That meeting never happened. And that contract with Black America video came out almost a year ago. It's been almost a year. It's crazy how a year has just flown by so fast, and they still have yet to meet with this man. That's because they don't plan on meeting with him. They had no intentions. I mean, look at all the stuff that they have done so far for every other group. Look at the Asians. They got a whole hate crime bill made for them. You have the Afghan evacuees are over here now, and I've done several videos about them and their antics. And now you just recently have where the Biden administration is talking about giving $450,000 per migrant, mainly those who are Mexican, to just come over here illegally per person. But when Ice Cube brought his CBA, the Contract with Black America, which was a very solid plan if people took the time to look at it, then that could have benefited us. But they literally went against this man. And to the black woman out there, if you felt like you was being pushed back upon, even though you wasn't wrapped up in what those hens were saying over at Fox Soul, that's why. See, this is what a lot of black women have to start doing. When there is a coonstress amongst you, and I'm not just talking about Candace Owens, I'm talking about those ones that was coming at Ice Cube, you have to go in 10 times harder than when the men go in on them. So if y'all know I went in on them and y'all know I did, y'all have to go in just as hard, if not harder, because she is of the same gender as you. And she's making you look even worse. So you have to really go in on her. I don't care if you have to peel that wig back. If you want to show loyalty, that's how you do it. Bump the, oh, she's the same gender as me. She's the same. Don't bring that I'm a woman first crap, because now you're tiptoeing into the territory of feminism. Don't do that. Because then that's going to show another side of you that's going to give us the side eye of you. That's all I'm saying. Like when I be doing those videos calling out the coonstress and all her antics, I know some of y'all like, oh, we should just ignore. That's easier said than done. When someone is that dangerous, you don't just ignore that. That's like saying, oh, I felt it for a woman. I felt it on my breast and I felt the lump right. I felt something that felt like a lump right here, but maybe that's just an internal bump and I'll just leave it alone. No, you probably got breast cancer. You need to go to the doctor. You don't ignore that. And that's how we should treat those agents amongst us, as a cancer. And what do you do when you identify cancer early on? You remove it. Because guess what? If you don't remove it, what happens? The cancer spreads. And that's how things die. I always said, think of the bootlicks as a cancer. I just had to throw that little piece in there. But yeah, back to the situation right here. I definitely, stand with Ice Cube for standing firmly on his square to do what it is. Like I said, it's a power move. And like what people were saying on Twitter, this is what America really hates. They really hate when a black man, especially a masculine black man, stands firm in his masculinity and stands firmly on his square and says that money is no object. You can't throw trinkets at me and think I'm just going to buckle or bend the knee. That's why they were mad at Dave Chappelle all those years ago. That's why they're mad at Kyrie Irving right now. That's why they're going to be mad at Ice Cube too. They're probably mad at him right now. Because they figure, oh, we're throwing all this money to you. The least you can do is what we say. And Dave Chappelle back then said no. Kyrie is saying no now. And Ice Cube is saying no. And ironically, the name of the movie is called Oh Hell No. But I definitely give kudos to Ice Cube in that regard. And I wish more would do the same. Because it's not really that hard when you really think about it. Because, they kept doing the whole going after LeBron thing because they always think that entertainers are supposed to be our spokesperson. Now, here's the kicker. When entertainers that they love to say, oh, do it for this and do it for that, when they start to reject against the power structure that's in place, then that's when America is really scared. That's when you have them shook. And that's how you want them to be, is to be shook. Because a lot of people they're getting scared now. They feel like they're losing control that they've had for so long, and now it's starting to break. And that's one thing that they don't want. That's one thing they cannot afford. Then, with the whole Nicki Minaj situation, like I said, we got our issues with Nicki Minaj. But then you had like people like Joy Rings Around the Neck Reed that came at her sideways about that. And, people actually came to Nicki's defense. And I hate that I had to come to her defense because I don't like her. Many of us over here don't like her. But Joy Reid put us in a position to have to somewhat slightly defend her. Interesting, isn't it? And then you got people like Don Lemon, doing the same thing. And notice that they always send out these bootlicks, these cancers of the community, to come after black people such as like an Ice Cube or a Kyrie Irving. They always do it. And Stephen A. Smith, oh God, when it comes to Kyrie Irving, he stays on him. I don't know if it was him or Charles Barkley that was saying something about his income. Like, why are you talking about this man's income? That's his income, and that is between him and his banks and his financial advisors and whoever else is handling his money. Not you, Stephen A. for asshole Smith. Mind your black ass business. That's what the rest of them need to do. You know what? I wonder if there's a shirt that I can get that says that. I need to Google that and see if that's a shirt, because I would purchase it and I would wear it. Because that's what a lot of them need to do, is mind that black ass business. It's not hard to do. But many of them, they've already sold out to the highest bidder, some to the lowest bidder. They just needed a white zaddy to run to, like the little puppet that they are. But shout out to Ice Cube. That's all I have to say. That's pretty much my whole take on it. I was going to read the article that was attached to this, but sometimes you just got to speak from the heart sometimes. But I will leave the link to the article and y'all can read it for yourself at your own leisure. With that being said, I'm going to get off of this. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments.